I'm gonna tell her. And then I'm gonna ask if we can spend the night this weekend.
That is bold. Very bold, even for her attitude.
Okay, well, in case she, hangs me by the balls instead.
Yeah?
A gift. I just know you like old things.
This is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You welcome us, wouldn't you?
Hey. Oh, hey.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, everyone. This is Venus Brown, and I am back with another episode of The Testaments. This is episode 3. Finally got to it. Just before they bring out the next ones. It's going to take me a while to get them edited, though, because I only got the first one done, and I still have to do the second one. It'll just take some time. Now, last episode, Agnes was dealing with all the traditional celebratory things that go on, I guess, when somebody in Gilead in their school gets their first period. That's a lot of attention, though, to draw to one person for that particular thing. But I get it. It's important to them. It marks the beginning of your ability to have children. One thing I did notice, though, was these comments about how it was about if you get your period, not when you get your period. And I was like, no, like all girls get their period if everything is working like it's supposed to. Granted, we're talking about a world where the birth rates have gone down, ability to give birth has gone down, ability to give birth to healthy babies has gone down. Is it possible that some women don't have periods now? I don't know, but it seems unlikely. I am suspecting that the Gilead teachers told them that so that they would just think that this was some big deal. Unfortunately, being that she has gotten her period, that means that she is now eligible to be married. And we saw when she went in to go and tell her dad the same rote biblical story that she told 2 other groups before then. We got to see all the ugly old men with their freaking nasty sexual urges showing just how freaking nasty and disgusting they are as she walked in. And these are most likely the men that are going to be eligible to marry her, which is a sickening thought, but it's not surprising. Not surprising at all. This is Gilead we're talking about. And this is a theocratic regime that hypes itself up on being good Christly people that are all about God and everything, even though it's really bent on seriously twisting the word of God, if you will, it's in the Bible, seriously leaving out tons and tons of stuff in the Bible and only picking out certain text from the Bible that they follow while leaving everything else out and really following a very twisted worldview on their religion, on their faith, on how everything should work. It is the world that these young girls are growing into, and they are getting ready to be foisted into marriage with these old men that have been propping this whole system up the entire time. Unfortunately, with the help of the women, but it's not like the women have a whole lot of power to do much of anything about it. They are not the ones in control. They are the ones being controlled. Even the ones in the highest positions that are females are heavily being controlled. So what are you going to do? Don't know. But hopefully this is supposed to be about the fall of Gilead. I don't expect it to happen this season, but I definitely expect it to happen this series, so we'll have to see what they do. Also, I've been noticing a few things about Daisy. Daisy is definitely doing things that can easily get herself in trouble, but I'm also noticing signs that she may very well be manipulating certain situations that look on their face like she's being traumatized and she's not used to this and she doesn't know what's going on. But when you take a second look, it looks like maybe she's manipulating the situation, especially when you see some of her behavior later on. Last episode, as soon as Agnes said that she was not going to be following her around today because she couldn't come with her, she appeared to freak out and then go rat herself out to Aunt Gabbana. And after the whole scenario of her getting in trouble and Agnes getting in trouble because Daisy ratted her out, there's a situation that comes up at the very end that makes me think it's likely she may have manipulated that situation. It may very well have been legitimate that she was freaking out because maybe she thought that Agnes was going to rat her out. I probably would have assumed that myself. But the very end of the episode, we see her sketching out floor plans of the place that they're at. I think using matches. And if you recall earlier, when Agnes was showing her around the school, they got over to where the corrections were, and she said that this is where discipline and corrections are in the ants wing. It's a separate wing of the school, and you only go there when you've earned it. Like, earned it as in you did something wrong. So is it possible that she intentionally did something wrong so that she could eventually go to the ants wing? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know that that was necessarily her intention, but it looked like it could have been. And the other thing that somebody else pointed out when I was watching reactions is that when she got that promise from Agnes that Agnes was not going to tell on her, that they would keep it secret, and they had the whole discussion about how God is watching and God can see our sins or whatever, and Agnes reassured her that they would pray together, regain contrition. When she got that pinky swear from her, and you turn around and look, and the camera is focusing on Daisy's face, and Daisy is smiling, and somebody said, that looks like she's smiling like, oh, I got her. So possibly some manipulation. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it's a possibility. But we also need to remember, Daisy is not there just to be a regular old Pearl girl. Daisy is there for other reasons. We know that. Agnes doesn't know that. And if Agnes did know that, I think Agnes would be ratting her out very quickly. But that's beside the point. It's neither here nor there. Not right now. We're not to that part of the show yet. But I did find out something about Daisy that I have been wondering about since before the show started, because I had been hearing chatter online that Daisy may not be baby Nicole, whereas in the book, Daisy is baby Nicole. And I am seeing more evidence from the showrunners, from apparently interviews and social media posts, that it is likely that Daisy is not being represented as baby Nicole. They made an executive decision that they were going to do this timeline so that it was 4 years after The Handmaid's Tale's last episode. Whereas I think the book was something like 15 years after The Handmaid's Tale started or something like that, which is a very different point in time. When The Handmaid's Tale started was like right before Gilead took over. If you go along with when June first got captured, it was when Agnes was like 4 or 5 years old. Okay, so if it's 15 years after 4 or 5 years old, then you're talking 19, 20 years old. I mean, even in the book, I thought there were some age discrepancies, but now they're talking about 4 years after the end of The Handmaid's Tale, which was when baby Nicole was 1.5 years. Agnes was fresh in the plum school. I know people were saying, oh, she was already a certain age. I don't think if you follow the timeline that you can, as best as you can, that she was as old as that, as some people are saying. I think around the point that she found out that her mom was pregnant, she was probably around 7 or 8 years old, and her mom gave birth right after that. And the baby's 1.5 years by the time they leave. So 9.5, 10 years old, 11 at the most. Getting to the age of a first period, I had to look this up because I always assumed that it was around 13. I'm pretty sure I was 13 when I had my first period. I certainly had other things going on well before then, but my period itself was around 13, but apparently that's actually a little bit later than the average. So I looked it up and it was like, yeah, it could happen anytime between 9 and 14 years old or something like that. But the average is actually 12 point something. So it's a little bit lower than 13 years old. But keep that in mind. These girls are waiting for their first period to become eligible to get married. There are girls on the younger side that are 9 or 10 years old having their periods, and these girls become marriageable. And then most of them, if the average of them are starting their first period at 12 and a half years old, that's disturbing. But how long do they keep them in the school before things start to shift? Agnes said that the first person she met when she got where she was Becca. But from what I recall, Agnes was moved closer to the capital right after the Boston-Gilead takeover, where the U.S. took over. Switched from where she was to closer to the capital. Like, is that when she met Becca? That would have been 4 years ago. And she said Becca had her period before her. Now she's having her period. I don't know if she's having it early or late, but you would think, like, if they're starting these girls out as plums really young at like 8 or 9, which is possible, it's possible, these people are fucking creeps. They could be trying to teach these girls to be wives at 8 or 9 years old. They do much worse things, so it wouldn't be surprising. And 4 years came by, then she'd be 13 or 14. That might be feasible. I think in the book, though, this girl would be an adult and she's still in plum school and she's still not married off. Like, to me, that didn't sound right. But either way, baby Nicole, a year and a half when we left her, and 4 years later, she'd be like 5.5, 6 years old. So they're like, we just can't justify doing that. And I know I've seen showrunners do crazier shit with age jumps before, but they decided they're not going to have baby Nicole be teenage Nicole in this series, at least not at this point. So who is Daisy? Since she's not baby Nicole, since she's not Nicole, since she's not Holly, she's some other girl. But I suspect we'll see some of that today because the episode is called Daisy. And I think I've gone on talking long enough, so I'll go ahead and get the episode started.
Congratulations on your initiation.
Oh yes, the young guard that she was talking to, that she seems to be attracted to, that is Garth, not the guy that was in the first episode. I know I said that last episode, but just had to reiterate. Bees. Oh yeah, and the last episode, the very end of the episode, it looks like Daisy got caught by one of the other Pearl girls pulling stuff out of her bed. Not Daisy's bed, but the other girl's bed, which I thought was kind of weird. But I don't know who's setting up these drops or who planted them, whether it was her or somebody else. California dreaming.
You've asked me to explain how I got involved in this insane story. I kept asking myself those questions too. We'd studied Gilead in school. Our teacher said that even though it seemed like Gilead happened overnight, there were signs of what was coming. Candidates running for office had said things openly about women, about gays, but they still were elected.
A lot of things like that today.
People thought they were speaking in hyperbole. Now women can't have jobs, or phones, or read books. Gay people, well, you know what happened to them. Back home, I used to use honey in my tea. I don't do that anymore.
Gilead welcomes all of God's children
Sure, I'll keep a few out.
for your generosity.
Oh,
He's so nice to those freaks.
why be cruel?
Because their country sucks and they hate women?
Help me with this.
I can almost hear the bed bugs.
Winner chicken dinner.
You get this stuff on my list?
Wasn't a nutrient in there. Things are getting serious, huh?
Dad, because we passed a quiz.
Because we're a we now.
Do you want me to set up an appointment with Dr. Lin?
God, Mom, we're not having sex.
It's cool if you are. I lost my virginity around your age.
Can we please not do this? I have to go get ready for all this sex I'll be having with Justin now. All that hot, sticky sex. My mom asked me if we were phoning.
Not exactly. She suggested you go to the doctor because
Said you weren't ready.
it would be around that age, and you could be, and you should be ready, and it's normal.
Kind of just want to tell her we slept together.
Oh, that was you.
Every time she sees me, all she's gonna think.
Is that's the guy that deflowered my daughter?
Oh, I'm gonna tell her. And then I'm gonna ask if we can spend the night this weekend.
That is bold. Very bold, even for her attitude.
Okay, well, in case she, hangs me by the balls instead.
Yeah?
A gift. I just know you like old things.
This is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mom? Dad?
Miss. Step back.
Dad! Get the fuck off me! It's my parents.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My mom and dad.
Sarah!
They're in there.
Mom!
So differences in the book. There was this whole birthday thing going on, and she had a field trip where there were protests. She was begging to go to the protests. They were not allowing her to, and they were not her biological parents. They were taking care of her for June, because June is her biological mother, but she did not know that. She sneaks to the protests. She's caught on camera. The store gets robbed not too long after that. But then they're not dead. Like, I think it was 2 or 3 days later that they are actually in a car bombing, and her mom's car was bombed, and both of them were in it.
With God's grace, they should be ready by the ball. God's expectation is that they will be ready by the ball. Also keep an eye on the second-year pinks. Sarah, Rachel, and now Anna are consorting with only one another. We mustn't allow that to fester. And go find your plum. There's a field trip this morning.
Yes, Aunt Vidala.
Does Aunt Lydia intend to pair all the pearl girls with the commander's daughter?
I was going to ask if this was the next day, but she's definitely looking at her like she knows something. So it looks like at least she hasn't ratted her out yet.
The whole program confounds me. Far be it from us to criticize Aunt Lydia's intentions.
We haven't gotten to the part of the book yet where we read about how Aunt Lydia got involved in the ants and everything. I don't remember what point that comes, but it might be soon.
Mrs. Judd has graciously opened her home to us. This is an opportunity to learn, especially for green girls.
Green girls. So they're not wearing green at school, but they have the green pins.
I liked going to the zoo. We're not 10 anymore, Hulda. We get to see Penny.
Mrs. Commander Judd.
And Commander Judd is very important. For a while there, I thought that possibly Lawrence from The Handmaid's Tale was Commander Judd, and that he just went through something that made him turn around and be a completely fucking awful person compared to what we saw on the show. But yeah, after a while, I lined up all the stuff that was going on in the Testaments book and all the stuff that I knew about Lawrence on Handmaid's Tale, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Too many things just don't line up at all. And then he ended up getting killed, although I still wonder,
Have a blessed day, Miss Agnes.
May the Lord open.
is it possible that him and Nick might parachute out of there or something? Showrunners have definitely
She wanted to bone him. Look at him.
come up with crazier shit to bring dead people back to life. I used to have a car that color. Trying to remember what color it was. Because I had them painted that color. I think it was deep iris or something like that. And everybody called it the Barney Mobile.
I used to stare at Justin like that. Every inch of him. That's your guardian, right?
Now they're both staring.
You're being a slut, lusting after him so openly.
Yeah, I'm the slut. Apologies, Miss Agnes.
Something ahead.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Can't tell yet. They're armed. Shooters.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody stay down!
Hell of a field trip. Holy shit.
Okay, let's go. Get up. Now.
I know a lot of people don't like Aunt Vidala, but I see more signs of humanity from her in this. Like, she looked like she was freaking out when she saw that guy getting his arm chopped off.
In there. Go.
And she was freaking out just then.
Get in the shot. Stay down with your stuff.
Where some of the other ones were like, they'd sit there straight-faced, or some of them even smiling. And there are other differences also between the book and this scenario, but I was just trying to give some of the main ones.
That's
I'm with social services. Sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry, I'm still really stoned.
That's fine.
I'm still really stoned.
It's tea. Do you want a soda?
I need my phone.
We don't have to do that here. I'll go sign you out real quick and then we'll leave. Drink your tea. Don't move.
We know who that is.
Daisy? Hi. I need you to come with me.
That's disturbing.
Are you with social services too? There's been a change of plan. I need my phone. The other guy was getting it. He gave me this tea. What are you doing? Come on. You're in danger. In danger from what? You're in danger from the people who killed your parents. Pardon fucking me, what? You're not from social services?
No, I'm not. That guy isn't from social services either. I need you to trust me.
Who are you?
Yeah, I'd be demanding answers. You're just taking me out of here and I'm supposed to just take your word for it? I don't know you from a hole in the wall. I mean, yeah, we saw her looking at her in that store, but that doesn't mean she knows her.
Shit. I was a friend of your parents.
You've been to the store.
Many times.
So she does recognize her. Maybe. Seems like it.
What's your name?
Is she not gonna say?
My name is June. Daisy, I need you to come with me.
Listen, I'm still pretty stoned.
Fine, we'll deal with that.
We'll deal with that.
Let's get you somewhere safe.
And then send you to Gilead? That's not safe. I mean, even in the book, like, I was like, they're seriously sending this teenager over to Gilead? What a terrible idea.
Thank you.
Honestly, I was terrified.
Me too.
I said that it would heal. Praise be.
Do they know who did it?
Mayday. Godless animals.
They're the terrible people we're enemies with. They hate us.
They hate Gilead. They don't actually hate you, but,
Tell them what else you saw.
it does suck if you get caught in the crossfire.
They were bandaging a guardian. His shirt was lifted, and there was hair on his stomach. All over.
What do you mean?
It was short and stubbly, almost like when my dad grows his beard out.
That's repulsive.
Do all men have it?
Most men do. It depends, I think.
On what?
Genetics. One of God's mysteries.
How would you know?
I had sex with thousands of men.
thousands.
You probably did. I used to go to the beach. Like everyone else. Men would go shirtless. And the hair, it keeps going. Lower. Oh my God. Oh God, protect us. I need to call my boyfriend. He's gonna be like worried. Eat something and then we can talk about it.
Like, not allowing her to call her boyfriend.
Let me call my boyfriend and then I'll eat something. We're not negotiating.
Why would anyone murder my parents?
Do you know what Mayday is? Learn about them in school. Your parents were working with Mayday. They were working with me.
They run a vintage store. My dad doesn't even know how to use Find My Friends. They are the least spy people in the universe.
There are things you don't know about them, Daisy.
This is ridiculous. I want to call my boyfriend.
I need a few hours to arrange to get you out of the city safely.
He's gonna think I'm fucking dead.
Daisy.
Okay? So I need to talk to him.
I mean, that might honestly be the safest thing for them to think that you're dead.
That part of your life is over. And I'm sorry all this has happened.
So in the book, I think she's playing the role of Ada. Ada was the person in the book that took her and explained what was happening.
I know what it's like to have everything change all at once.
Ada in the book had dark hair and was definitely not June.
I need to arrange my parents' funeral. Can I please use your phone to do that?
No, it's too dangerous.
June, this is a kidnapping. Yeah, I feel like you gotta do a better job of giving more proof. I don't know that I would believe her either. Just some rando lady that shows up in the store every now and then but has never said a word to me. And my parents seem to be the most, like, ordinary and run-of-the-mill people that would never have enemies. It's going to be hard to believe that kind of stuff. And June was not doing a good job of making it all that believable either. I hope she doesn't end up getting her boyfriend killed.
Holy shit.
Which is possible.
The police have been looking for you. I've been freaking out. Your parents, oh my God. Fuck, like, what happened?
I'll explain everything. I just need you to, like, hug me or something first.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, come here.
Wouldn't that be fucked up if they had sex right there and she was, like, pregnant when she got over there as a Pearl girl? Not a place you'd want to be pregnant.
Hey, whoa. Right now?
I just need to feel normal again, please.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling something's gonna happen to this kid, and it ain't gonna be good. Let's hope he doesn't end up dead. I'm assuming June will have some idea where she went, but I don't know for sure.
You need to go to the police.
Why?
Let's run away. I trust you. I know that. Why is that so funny?
Daisy, we can't just run away. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna wake up my parents. Okay, we'll talk to them. Step one.
No, Justin.
It's gonna be okay.
It wasn't gonna be okay, though. My parents were dead. June was right. This part of my life was over. It had been a week since the bus attack. Godly girls bounced back so quickly.
Remember, we are Mrs. Judd's guests. And how do guests show respect? With good posture. Straighten up, Constance.
Good posture. Always going on about posture, and every time I see them complaining about posture, the person involved seems to be sitting or standing completely straight.
Hi. I love the way it came together, flowers. The only thing is this painting that Michael chose. We're gonna swap it for something else soon.
Okay, so I take it she's a new wife.
This is his wine cellar, Maine Romanée Conti from 1945. What's that?
Burgundy. Very rare.
Wine. I mean, are they going to even know what wine is?
We have plans to build the nursery. I've been feeling ill the past few mornings. It's in God's hands, but I pray it's a sign. This one reminds me of my mother. Aren't they cute?
This baby's legs are like longer than the baby is.
Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty. Amen.
They didn't say through Christ our Lord.
I imagine it's a lot to handle, being a new wife.
Some days. But God only sends us what we can bear.
Don't mind me, I'm just passing through.
It's just cider.
Your secret's safe with me. Welcome to our home. You all showed the world some Gilead grit last week. They're just jealous, as we have clean water and fresh air and fruitful young women, and they have pollution and hate.
Yep, keep telling yourselves that.
You take in God's children, wherever they come from. I don't want to put you on the spot. Just curious why you decided to come to Gilead.
To serve God's will.
Of course.
And there was nothing left for me.
But you have a new home now.
Right.
Praise be.
The Pearl Girl program was designed to wash away our sins for God, to let us start anew. But I was never really a Pearl Girl. You know that by now. What the fuck happened? Was that us?
That's what Gilead's saying. It was meant to be a retrieval mission.
Like kidnapping? Jesus fucking Christ.
What is this?
Map of the school.
This is good.
It's not gonna be used to hurt those girls, is it?
The girls weren't supposed to get hurt.
That's not comforting. You guys are just some sloppy shit show. My life is in your hands here. For fuck's sake.
I'm a little surprised they let her go out on her own, but then again, the Plums don't seem to like her.
I need to speak to June.
And honestly, the aunts don't seem to either.
Who's June?
Who's June? She's like, oh shit.
So Gilead killed Neil and Melanie. They were working with Mayday. Why does Gilead want to kill me?
They want to take you back to Gilead.
Why?
They think you belong to them. Your parents in Gilead got you out when you were a baby.
Neil and Melanie have never been to Gilead.
That's right, Daisy. When you got out of Gilead, they would not stop looking for you. Neil and Melanie took you in.
My parents were the shittiest liars in the world. I would have known. If I wasn't really theirs.
You were theirs. In all the ways that matter. Mayday took you to Neil and Melanie in the middle of the night. They'd never had a baby of their own, you know? Neil went to the store and Melanie started singing to you, but you would have none of it. Nope, just cried and cried. But Melanie kept singing and singing. She sang you show tunes. Till you finally went to sleep.
How do you know that?
Melanie's favorite story. How you came to them. It's like Harry Potter, she said. You were theirs. In all the ways that matter.
And they died because of me.
No, Gilead killed them. Listen to me, you are not responsible for that.
You know, just because you say it with conviction doesn't make it not bullshit.
Don't start doing that to yourself, okay? That kind of thinking is really gonna fuck you up.
Wait, where are you going?
Stay here. Just keep ordering coffee. Someone's gonna come get you.
You're leaving me alone?
You are never alone. Mayday's got you. From the beginning. Don't let the bastards grind you down, okay?
Okay.
This definitely feels like a shit thing to do. Just leave her in a cafe waiting for some other unknown person to come pick her up. Still really leaves a lot of questions unanswered. So they're saying she's not baby Nicole, but she's like baby Nicole. Not June's, but June's taken interest in her because she's a former Gilead baby that's been rescued from there by Mayday. All right. It's messed up. Like I said, there's still so many questions that are not answered. I don't want to say too much about the Judd household. Just pay attention to the woman, her sickness, and pay attention to how creepy things were in there. At least to me, they seem very creepy. Of course, that's intentionally how they're presenting it, but yeah, pay attention to it. Anyway, that's all I got for you this week. I will see you next week. Bye.
So... We'll just have to tune in next week to find out, won't we?
And remember, if you like this content, please click the thumbs up. And if you want to see more content, click subscribe. Ring that little bell and click all, and you'll get more notifications anytime new content comes out.